The wife of a man who died after being infected with contaminated blood in the 1970s says she would rather have her husband back than receive any money. Kerr is one of around 100 people here who were impacted by the infected blood scandal.
Well, after decades of campaigning, they will receive an interim compensation payment of £100,000. Eden Wilson reports.
I don't really want this money, if I'm honest. I'd rather have my husband. I'd rather have my husband.
It's been 22 years without Neil. The father of 3 was a severe haemophiliac, meaning his blood did not clot. The blood products used to treat him in the 70s and 80s were infected. Neil contracted both HIV and hepatitis C and later died from AIDS. His family left with an unbearable grief and crippling debt.
But to sell the house, I had to put the house on the market. I had been working part-time. I'd started to go part-time to look after him at home. I used to come home at lunchtime and give him medications and give him drips, etc., fly back to work again. So when he died, I had part-time wages coming in, and it was very, very hard to make ends meet.
Neil was one of around 100 victims of the contaminated blood scandal in Northern Ireland. And while the £100,000 interim compensation payment is now on its way, he, like so many others, are not around to see it.
I know he would be happy that his family were being looked after, but again, it's so bittersweet. You know, we've waited a long time for this. It's the first acknowledgement, and the compensation has been mentioned, and that someone is at fault, and that reparations need to be made. But it's just the first step, Eden.
The next step on the campaign journey is to include all those affected.
Those who have lost children and those who've lost their parents, they're not considered in today's announcement. And this is what we need to push for and continue to recognise that there's a huge part of this community that has yet to receive any form of recognition.
The Health Minister hopes payments will begin to roll out at the end of October.
We are dependent on money coming from Her Majesty's Treasury. The work that we've been doing in the background actually ensures that that money is coming directly to us in the Department of Health, so it doesn't have to go through the executive, it doesn't have to go through the Assembly, but it comes directly into our blood payment systems as well, so that we can get that out to those people who are actually going to benefit from it.
The contaminated blood inquiry is still ongoing, with the final report due next summer. Until then, families like Catherine's continue the fight so that all those affected are compensated. Eden Wilson, UTV Live.